Think you're a law-abiding citizen? Well, guess what? You might have broken the law without even realizing it. From silly animal rules to outdated traditions, America has some of the weirdest laws that could technically land you behind bars. Did you know it's illegal to let your donkey sleep in a bathtub in Arizona? Or that eating fried chicken with a fork could get you in trouble in Georgia? These bizarre regulations aren't just urban legends, they're actual laws, still on the books today. So, whether you're planning your next road trip or just want to avoid an accidental run-in with the law, stick around as we dive into the quirky, unexpected world of obscure American laws. Trust me, you won't believe what's illegal. Number 1. Strange animal laws. Let's kick things off with some of the weirdest animal laws in America, because apparently even our furry and not so furry friends need to stay on the right side of the law. First up, Arizona. Did you know it's illegal to let your donkey sleep in a bathtub? Yep, you heard that right. This bizarre law dates back to the 1920s, when a donkey in a bathtub caused a town-wide flood after a dam broke. The rescue effort was so chaotic that they decided to make bathtub snoozing illegal for donkeys. And here's another one. In Kentucky, it's against the law to dye your duckling blue and sell it unless you're selling at least 6 ducklings at once. Why 6? Who knows? But it's clear the lawmakers were passionate about colorful ducks. Over in California, there's a law that says you can't walk your pet elephant down the street without a leash. Now, how many elephant owners are out there breaking this law? Probably none, but it's still on the books. And let's not forget Florida, where you can be fined for tying your pet alligator to a fire hydrant, because apparently that's something people actually needed to be told not to do. These strange laws might sound like a joke, but they're real, and they could technically land you in hot water if you don't play by the rules. So next time you're traveling with your donkey or thinking about dyeing your duckling blue, maybe double-check the local laws first. Number 2, outdated traditions. Next up, outdated traditions. Laws that made sense centuries ago, but today, they're downright ridiculous. Let's start with Alabama, where it's illegal to wear a fake mustache in church if it causes laughter. Imagine you're just trying to rock a hilarious disguise and suddenly, bam, you're breaking the law. It might have been meant to keep churchgoers serious back in the day, but now, pure comedy gold. Over in Kentucky, dueling is strictly prohibited, and not just with swords. Even challenging someone to a duel verbally is against the law. So, if you're itching for an old-fashioned duel, Kentucky is not the place to be. And get this, in New York, it's illegal to dance after midnight in certain establishments. They've relaxed the rules in recent years, but it's still a reminder that someone somewhere wanted to keep their late-night parties under control. But one of the best examples, whistling underwater is illegal in Vermont. I mean, who's even capable of doing that? This might be less about law enforcement and more about someone somewhere writing down the quirkiest rule imaginable. These laws might technically still exist, but chances are they're not getting enforced anytime soon. Still, it's fun to imagine how these rules came to be, and even funnier to picture someone accidentally breaking them. 3. Food-related offenses. All right, food lovers, brace yourselves, because the next set of obscure laws is all about what you eat and how you eat it. And yes, even your favorite meals could land you in trouble. Let's start in Georgia, where it's illegal to eat fried chicken with a fork. That's right. If you're caught poking your crispy, golden chicken instead of picking it up with your hands, you could technically face fines. This law was meant to celebrate Southern traditions, but imagine getting arrested for improper chicken consumption. Now head over to Utah, where it's illegal to sell alcohol during an emergency situation. Imagine being stuck in a snowstorm, thinking a drink might calm your nerves, only to realize, oops, that's against the law. And in Connecticut, pickles must bounce to be considered legally edible. Yes, bounce. If your pickle doesn't have that springy jump, you might just be breaking the law. It's all thanks to an old regulation aimed at cracking down on counterfeit pickles. Seriously. Take Oklahoma, for example, where it's illegal to take a bite out of someone else's hamburger. Seriously, if you're tempted to swipe a taste of your friend's burger, it's best to ask first. Otherwise, you could technically end up on the wrong side of the law. Over in Wisconsin, there's a rule about serving butter substitutes in public restaurants. It's actually prohibited unless the customer specifically asks for it. Margarine fans, you might want to tread carefully when ordering your meal. Meanwhile, in Arkansas, it's illegal to mispronounce Arkansas. Okay, it's not directly food-related, but imagine ordering Arkansas-style BBQ and accidentally saying it wrong. It might just raise some eyebrows, or worse. Let's not forget about Texas, where it's illegal to milk someone else's cow. As specific as this law might sound, it's a clear warning to keep your dairy dreams strictly within your own herd. And in Tennessee, there's a law that makes it illegal to share food from your plate in certain public spaces. It's unclear whether they're trying to avoid hygiene issues or food feuds, but it's a reminder to keep your meals to yourself. These quirky food laws might sound outrageous, but they're still technically enforceable. So whether you're nibbling your fried chicken or sharing your burger, remember, you might be closer to a food felony than you think. Number 4, public behavior laws. All right, let's move on to public behavior laws, because in some places, even your everyday actions could land you in legal trouble. First up, Virginia, where it's illegal to swear in public. Yep, if you let out a colorful word after stubbing your toe on the sidewalk, you could technically face a fine. It's all part of an old anti-profanity law meant to preserve public decency. Then there's New York, where dancing after midnight in certain establishments was once illegal due to the cabaret law. While it's been relaxed in recent years, it's a good reminder to keep your late-night moves in check. Over in Colorado, it's illegal to throw snowballs in certain towns without a permit. That's right. Your innocent snowball fight could get you into trouble if you're not careful. And in Arkansas, honking your car horn after 9 p.m. near sandwich shops is against the law. Why? No one really knows, but it sounds like someone really valued their quiet sandwich time. Finally, in Minnesota, it's illegal to operate a vehicle with dirty tires. So before you hit the road, you'd better make sure your tires are squeaky clean, or risk being on the wrong side of the law. These public behavior laws might seem harmless or downright hilarious, but they're real and technically enforceable. So the next time you're out and about, remember what seems normal to you might just be breaking the law. All right, we've laughed at the absurdity of these obscure laws, but what happens if you actually break one? Turns out the consequences can be surprisingly real. Let's start with fines. Many of these laws, despite sounding silly, can still result in monetary penalties. Imagine getting slapped with a fine for walking your elephant without a leash, or eating fried chicken the wrong way. It might sound ridiculous, but it's technically enforceable. Then there's jail time. While rare, there have been cases where people were arrested for breaking outdated or obscure laws. For example, there are stories of people fined or detained for swearing in public in states with anti-profanity rules. And here's the kicker. Even if the laws aren't actively enforced, you could still face legal trouble if someone decides to report you. It's not common, but the possibility is always there, especially if the law is tied to public safety or morality. These consequences might seem out of proportion to the laws themselves, but they serve as a reminder. No matter how quirky or outdated, laws are still laws, and breaking one, intentionally or not, could lead to real-world repercussions. So, what have we learned today? America's legal system is filled with quirky, bizarre rules that make us scratch our heads. From forbidding dancing after midnight to outlawing pickle fraud, these laws prove that truth is often stranger than fiction. While most of these laws aren't actively enforced, they remind us that the legal system has a way of preserving history, even the strange parts. So next time you're out and about, keep an eye out. You never know which obscure law you might accidentally break. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a bizarre law in your state or city? Share it in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going.